You're walking into Aldi with your shopping list and a budget that's getting tighter every month. The prices look incredible. Everything seems like a steal. But here's what nobody's telling you. Some of those bargain bins are hiding products that will cost you more in the long run. Waste your money on food you'll throw away, or put ingredients in your body that you've spent years trying to avoid. We talked to current Aldi employees, former grocery buyers, and longtime shoppers who learned these lessons the hard way. We spent weeks comparing labels, tracking price per unit, and testing products side by side with name brands. What we found will change how you shop that store forever. And the number one item? It contains an ingredient so controversial the FDA requires companies to list it prominently on the label as a warning. These are the 10 popular Aldi items you need to leave on the shelf. Number 10. The pre-made salads in those plastic clamshell containers. You see them right when you walk in, positioned near the produce section where they look fresh and convenient. They're priced at $2.49 to $3.99 depending on the variety. That sounds reasonable compared to the $5 to $7 you'd pay at Kroger or Publix. But here's the problem. The expiration dates are notoriously short and the quality deteriorates fast. Open one of those containers 2 days before the sell-by date and you'll find wilted lettuce, soggy toppings, and a smell that tells you this salad has been sitting in transit longer than you'd want. The dressing packets are excessive in sodium and sugar. One longtime Aldi shopper told us she bought the Southwest-style salad 3 times before she learned her lesson. The third time she opened it the day she bought it and the lettuce was already browning. She now buys a head of lettuce for 99 cents, a rotisserie chicken for $4.99, and makes her own salads. She calculated she's saving about $40 a month. And eating fresher food. If you're buying these salads twice a week, you're spending over $400 a year on salads that often end up in the trash. Buy the components separately and you'll cut that cost in half. The next item proves that what's inside the package matters more than what's printed on it. Number 9. The specially selected frozen fish fillets. Walk past the frozen seafood section and you'll see these elegant black packages with gold lettering that scream premium quality. Mahi-mahi, cod, salmon, all positioned as restaurant-grade fish at discount prices. The packages run anywhere from $6.49 to $9.99. Compare that to the $12 to $16 at Whole Foods and it feels like buried treasure. But pick up that package and read the fine print. The net weight is often only 10 to 12 ounces. You're buying 2 small fillies that will barely feed 2 people. At $8.99 for 12 ounces of cod, you're paying nearly $12 per pound. That's exactly what you'd pay at a regular grocery store for the same farm-raised product. Multiple customers reported that these fillets are packed with excessive ice glaze. One woman bought the mahi-mahi, followed the cooking instructions perfectly, and ended up with fillies that were half the size because so much of the weight was water. An independent lab test found that cheaper frozen fish can be up to 34% ice by weight. You're paying $12 per pound for frozen water. A former seafood department manager explained that when frozen fish is packed with that much ice, it's often to disguise lower quality product. The best frozen fish should feel solid with minimal ice crystals visible. For a household eating fish twice a week, switching from these fillets to buying better product in bulk saves close to $300 a year. You're actually getting a mid-grade product at a premium price hidden by small portion sizes. Remember that number? 34% ice. Keep it in mind when we get to item number 3. Number 8. The Simply Nature Organic Chicken Broth. This sits on the shelf in those aseptic cartons that make everything look healthy and pure. The label has soft earth tones, the word organic in a gentle font, and a price of $2.29 for 32 ounces. At $2.29, it seems like Aldi is making healthy eating affordable. But flip that carton around and read the ingredient list. The second ingredient after water is sugar. You're buying savory chicken broth and the second ingredient is sugar. Each cup contains 2 grams of added sugar. A typical soup recipe uses 4 to 6 cups of broth. You just added 8 to 12 grams of sugar to a meal you thought was healthy. Compare that to Pacific Foods organic chicken broth at Target for $3.49. Their ingredient list is chicken broth, sea salt, organic chicken flavor, and rosemary extract. No added sugar. One home cook said she used the Aldi broth in her soup and couldn't figure out why it tasted off. The soup had a weird sweetness. Then she read the label and realized the broth was the problem. Food companies know that the word organic makes Americans reach for their wallets. Organic doesn't automatically mean healthy. At $2.29 per carton, if you're using this broth twice a week, that's about $240 a year spent on a product sabotaging your meals. Sugar in chicken broth seems bizarre, but it's just misdirection. What comes next is intentional deception wrapped in health food packaging. Number 7. The Elevation protein bars in the value packs. These sit in the health food aisle or near checkout, priced at $4.99 for a 5-pack or $8.49 for a 10-pack. That's about 85 cents to $1 per bar. Compare that to the $3 to $4 for brands like RX Bar or Perfect Bar. The label promises 15 to 20 grams of protein. The box has words like energy and nutrition and strength. But here's what you're actually buying. The first ingredient is corn syrup. The second is sugar. The third is palm kernel oil. You're eating a candy bar with protein powder mixed in. Each bar contains 16 to 20 grams of sugar, more than a Snickers bar. Let that sink in. The protein bar marketed as healthy workout fuel has more sugar than actual candy. One fitness instructor recommended these bars to her senior fitness class. 3 students came back saying the bars made them feel jittery and then exhausted an hour later. Classic sugar spike and crash. A nutritionist explained that real protein bars should list protein sources like nuts, seeds, or egg whites in the first 3 ingredients. When you see corn syrup and sugar leading the list, you're looking at a product designed to taste good and hit a protein number while ignoring nutrition. If you're eating one of these bars 5 days a week, you're consuming over 300 grams of added sugar per month. Skip these entirely. If you're already questioning some of your usual Aldi picks, hit that like button and subscribe because the items coming up aren't just disappointing, they're dangerous. Number 6. One employee told us this is the product she wishes they'd pull from shelves entirely: the Baker's Corner Brownie Mix. It's 99 cents for a box. Duncan Hines costs $2.49. Ghirardelli costs $4.99. How much difference could there really be? The difference is massive. Read the ingredient list and you'll find partially hydrogenated oils, which are trans fats. The FDA has recognized trans fats as unsafe because they increase bad cholesterol, decrease good cholesterol, and raise the risk of heart disease and stroke. Most major brands reformulated years ago to remove trans fats. Aldi's mix still contains them. This ingredient was banned in 18 countries before the United States even started requiring labels to list trans fat content. 1. Retired nurse bought this mix for years. She made brownies for church potlucks and her grandkids. Then her daughter, who works in public health, pointed out the partially hydrogenated oil. She was horrified. She'd been feeding her family a known cardiovascular risk for the sake of saving $1.50. She switched to Duncan Hines and calculated she's spending less than $20 more per year for a product without ingredients the FDA is actively trying to ban. The taste difference is noticeable too. The Aldi brownies have a waxy texture and an artificial aftertaste. When you factor in the health cost, this 99-cent box might be the most expensive item on this entire list. Buy the name brand or make brownies from scratch with real butter. Trans fats attack your cardiovascular system slowly. What's next attacks your wallet instantly. Number 5. The Clancy's restaurant-style tortilla chips in the large bags. This item doesn't have a nutrition problem or a label problem. It has a physics problem. These are positioned as the Aldi answer to Tostitos, priced at $2.49 for 13 ounces compared to $3.99 for Tostitos scoops. The bag is big. The chips look thick and sturdy. But open that bag and start eating. The chips are aggressively salty. The corn flavor is barely there, and they're incredibly fragile. Try to scoop salsa and half of them shatter in your hand. You end up with broken chip shards and you're using a spoon to eat your dip. One man who hosts a monthly poker night switched to Tostitos after his guests complained 3 gatherings in a row. The value falls apart when half the bag ends up as unusable crumbs. A food scientist explained that chip texture is about the quality of corn, thickness of cut, and frying process. Cheap chips use lower quality corn, cut thinner to stretch the product, and fry at inconsistent temperatures. If you're buying these twice a month, you're spending $60 a year on a product that frustrates everyone. Spend the extra dollar for a chip that doesn't disintegrate. But this next category is even more insidious because it tricks you into thinking you're getting luxury. Number 4. The specially selected premium ice cream in the specialty flavors. This is Aldi's attempt to compete with Talenti and Jenny's, priced at $3.99 for a pint compared to $5.49 to $7.99. The flavors sound incredible. Sea salt caramel, Belgian chocolate, vanilla bean. The word premium is front and center. But what's the one word on a food label that makes Americans spend 40% more without questioning what's inside? Premium. Check the ingredient list. There's no cream in the first few ingredients. Instead, you're getting skim milk, corn syrup, and stabilizers. Premium ice cream is defined by high butterfat content from real cream. That's what gives you dense, creamy texture. This product uses thickeners and air to mimic that texture without actual cream. One ice cream enthusiast bought the sea salt caramel expecting something close to Talenti and was immediately disappointed. The texture was icy and light, almost foamy. The caramel flavor was artificial and overly sweet. She went back to buying Talenti and realized that even at full price, the real premium ice cream was worth it. Aldi has built its reputation on offering quality at low prices, but products like this undermine that trust. At $3.99 per pint, if you're buying this twice a month, you're spending $90 a year on fake premium ice cream. Either buy the real thing less often or buy Aldi's regular ice cream for half the price. Fake premium is frustrating, but what comes next is genuinely deceptive. Number 3. The Tuscan Gardens single-serve salad dressing packets. Remember that 34% number from the frozen fish? Here's where percentages get disturbing. These come in boxes priced at $2.99. They're marketed as convenient for packed lunches. Each packet is 1.5 ounces. $2.99 for 12 packets is 18 ounces total. That's 16.6 cents per ounce. Compare that to a 16-ounce bottle of Hidden Valley Ranch for $3.49 at Walmart. That's 21.8 cents per ounce. Wait, that makes the packets seem cheaper. But here's what they're not telling you. Those single-serve packets contain significantly more sodium, sugar, and preservatives because they need to stay shelf-stable without refrigeration. Each ranch dressing packet contains 420 milligrams of sodium. That's more sodium than 14 potato chips in just 2 tablespoons of dressing. A registered dietitian explained that single-serve packets are almost always nutritionally inferior because of extra stabilizers. One woman used these packets for months before she realized the ranch dressing had almost double the sodium of bottled ranch. Her husband has high blood pressure. She was accidentally sabotaging his health. She switched to buying a bottle and using small, reusable containers. Costs the same, tastes better, doesn't spike his sodium. The packets create tons of plastic waste too. And half the time, they're impossible to open without scissors and never fully empty. You're always leaving a third stuck in the corners. The convenience is an illusion. You're paying the same or more for worse quality and worse health outcomes. Buy the bottle. But when the next item combines misleading labels with a product that physically shrinks before your eyes, the deception reaches a new level. Number 2. The Simply Nature Organic Ground Beef. This sits in the meat department in 1-pound packages with green and white labels that radiate wholesomeness. The price is usually $5.99 to $6.99 per pound. Compare that to $9.99 or more at Whole Foods, and it seems like Aldi just made organic eating accessible. But read the fine print. It says organic, but it doesn't say grass-fed. It doesn't say pasture-raised. It just says organic, which means the cows were fed organic grain in the same feedlot conditions as conventional beef. The cattle weren't given antibiotics or hormones, but they weren't living the pastoral life the label wants you to imagine. A sustainable farming advocate explained that truly high-quality beef comes from cattle that spent time on pasture eating grass. Grass-fed beef is higher in omega-3 fatty acids and has a better omega-6 ratio. Organic grain-fed beef is marginally better than conventional, but nowhere near the quality of grass-fed. The organic certification has become a marketing tool for premium prices. Several customers reported that this ground beef releases excessive liquid when cooked, shrinking to a much smaller portion. One home cook bought a pound to make burgers, formed 4 quarter-pound patties, and after cooking ended up with sliders because the meat shrank so much. The beef has high water content, a common trick to add weight. At $6.49 per pound, if you're buying this twice a month, you're spending over $150 a year on beef that's only slightly better than conventional. Either buy actual grass-fed less often or buy conventional and save your money. The organic label is doing more marketing work than nutritional work. At least this beef is recognizable as beef. The number 1 item can barely be called food. Number 1. This is it. The Breakfast Best Fully Cooked Sausage Patties. These come in boxes of 8 or 10 patties, frozen, priced at $3.49 to $3.99. They're positioned as a quick breakfast solution. Heat them in the microwave for 30 seconds and you've got hot breakfast. At about 40 cents per patty compared to 80 cents for Jimmy Dean, it feels like a smart shortcut. But pick up that box and look at the ingredient list. Mechanically separated chicken is the first ingredient. This is the ingredient we warned you about. Not pork, not turkey. Mechanically separated chicken, a paste made by forcing chicken bones and attached tissue through a sieve under high pressure. The FDA requires products containing mechanically separated chicken to list it prominently because it's considered lower quality with potential food safety concerns. After that comes water, then corn syrup solids, then fillers, binders, and preservatives. One nurse practitioner saw these in a patient's freezer and told the patient to stop eating them immediately. The patient had been having digestive issues. The nurse explained that mechanically separated meat is harder to digest, and the high sodium and preservative load can cause bloating and inflammation. The patient switched to making breakfast sausage from scratch with ground pork, freezing individual patties and reheating as needed. Digestive problems resolved within 2 weeks. A chef who worked in institutional food service said mechanically separated chicken is what gets used in the cheapest chicken nuggets and low-end deli meats. The texture of these patties is spongy, and the flavor is aggressively salty with a weird chemical aftertaste. One grandfather bought these for his grandkids. After one bite, his 10-year-old grandson said it tastes like a tire and refused to eat it. Out of the mouths of children. At $3.79 for 8 patties, you're paying 47 cents per patty, but each patty is only 1 ounce. If you buy a roll of regular ground pork for $3.99 per pound, you can make 16 1-ounce patties for 25 cents each, freeze them, and reheat just as quickly. They'll taste like actual meat, and you'll save over $50 a year while feeding your family real food instead of mechanically separated mystery paste. Remember those pre-made salads from number 10 that went bad before you could eat them? At least those were real lettuce. These sausage patties aren't even real meat. These items have been sitting on Aldi shelves, and thousands of shoppers grab them every week without questioning what they're really getting. Now you know. Pre-made salads that rot in your fridge. Frozen fish that's 1/3 ice. Organic broth with sugar. Protein bars with more sugar than Snickers. Brownie mix with banned trans fats. Chips engineered to shatter. Fake premium ice cream. Dressing packets with excessive sodium. Organic beef that's just feedlot meat. Breakfast sausage made from mechanically separated bone paste. 10 traps designed to look like deals. You just became the kind of shopper who reads labels and doesn't fall for packaging. Hit subscribe because we're breaking down the best and worst products at every major grocery store. Check out the video on your screen.